So let's take it up a level. The reason it's the decade of ecosystem is because partnering is more capitally efficient in many value vectors. The path to getting to a particular outcome for a client, if you try to do it within the four walls of your company, you probably don't have enough capital or time to get there.
Microsoft's purpose is in service of your purpose.
And again, 2024 is the year that partners come out as the leading edge of the spear on finding this buyer intent.
You show up to every meeting and demonstrate why you are relevant.
Every day I have to force myself to make sure that I'm taking one step ahead in terms of my own learning.
That flywheel of success is where you will build momentum, and that momentum will continue, and then you feed into the other systems to say, this is what we did, this is how we did it together.
So Greg, you've been a thought leader in this ecosystem movement, as we refer to it now. Like, why is it a strategic imperative? And what would you say to other SIs or other organizations similar to EY, analogous to EY, what they need to go do better or differently?
So I'm going to take it up from the world of tech and SI because I believe this movement is much bigger than that. I know that because there's a natural affinity for tech and consultancies to partner for 4 decades now, if you think about it.
And that Bill Gates moment.
Right, exactly. And so, and the reason for that is that clients, if they just adopt technology and they don't get business value or value realization, I think is the word we typically use, right? What was the point of spending the money on the technology? So you hire the consultants to make sure you don't screw up the implementation, because that's easy enough to do. And
it never happens.
It never happens. And then, but more importantly, hopefully you then adopt it and use it for a business purpose that returns shareholder value, client value, employee value, stakeholder value.
Right, right.
You want value creation from having deployed capital and OpEx to put in the stack. And so there's been a natural synergy, but there are partnering models all over. Like every industry has its version of partnering models. They're just very different by industry, right? If you look at consumer products, they do a lot of partnering. Yeah. They do a lot of cross-licensing. They do co-branding, right? They do supply chain sharing, right? They do a lot of things that are partnering models that are value creative to their end customers, but don't look like the way that we partner between SIs and tech companies.
Automotive
is a massive partner.
Yeah.
Massive partner.
Dealers, technology.
Dealer network. Exactly. Now you're getting it.
CarPlay in my.
That's another partnership. Yeah. You have Bose stereo, you have Brembo brakes, you have Recaro seat, you have Borg Warner transmission, right? Those were all supply relationships that turned into value relationships and even co-branded relationships in some cases, right? So let's take it up a level. The reason it's the decade of ecosystem is because partnering is more capitally efficient in many value vectors. The path to getting to a particular outcome for a client, if you try to do it within the four walls of your company, you probably don't have enough capital or time to get there.
You are speaking my language.
So you need to combine your capital. And when I say capital, I mean it broadly. I don't just mean money.
Resources,
IP, access to customers, access to supply.
Yeah.
How big is that today?
Yeah, it's huge.
Route to supply is one of the most highly valuable. Data is another highly valuable one, especially with AI, right?
Absolutely.
So to me, the reason it is the decade of ecosystem isn't because of what we're doing in our little world of SI and tech. It is because tech has taken down the barrier to interoperability between companies.
Oh, I love that.
And AI takes it down even further.
Yeah.
You can, in cloud, and you come from a very famous cloud company, right?
Yep.
How much value did Microsoft Cloud unlock? Not because people moved their workload from a data center to the cloud. It turns out that might actually have been more expensive.
Yep.
The value unlock is when multiple companies can form these really valuable value propositions for no cost of interoperability.
And the marketplace is driving it even further.
And the marketplace creates an accelerant.
It's a seamless.
So to me, the biggest thing that Microsoft is doing economically and its peers is it's unlocking the ability for companies to pool capital together in new value creation models And that is why it is the decade of ecosystem. Because, and you're going to see this in every industry. We already are seeing it in every industry. And here's the good news.
Can I drop the mic now?
If you are listening to this and you're like me and Vince and others who have been banging our heads against the wall.
Hey,
see this flat spot right here? Right? You're into direct sales, et cetera. All of a sudden, you're entering a decade where your worth to pharma companies and energy companies and automotive they need you.
Yes.
Because they need to try to figure out how to do this, because they don't have what we have, which is experience doing partner operations, partner governance, partner relationship handling, and go-to-market motions.
Absolutely.
They don't have any of that experience.
I don't know.
They don't.
They don't know.
And the people listening to this do. And I'm telling you, more than half of you in 10 years will not be in tech or GSI.
Right. We're going to help the transformation of the rest of the world.
That's right.
Yeah. I see that as well. I talked to
and that is why
yesterday about this very same topic.
We're excited to announce Ultimate Partner Live Executive Summit, October 22nd and 23rd in Las Colinas, Texas. We're bringing back the event that we hosted last year, but in a new facility with state-of-the-art capabilities and live streaming. This is your opportunity to engage with other technology leaders, to learn the what, why, and how to achieve your greatest results, partnering with Microsoft and other tech giants. Featuring leadership tracks, fireside chats, and workshops designed to help you achieve more.
So let's dive in here. The talk that you gave at my event was around the CPO, which were the Chief Partner Officer, new term, by the way, although I think you've been espousing the benefits and the value of this. I think about your organization. I love the talk you gave. And I also think, having been on both sides, having been at the Microsoft and then in the $1 billion ISV, where these things don't necessarily happen as easily. What do you think about when you think about the Chief Partner Officer role, its value, and where it needs to sit in an organization?
Yeah, so I actually flip it on its side. So I believe that for companies to allocate capital, create new value vectors, and then drive go-to-market at scale, they need to have a partnering function.
Yes. You're speaking my language.
You don't have a partnering function, you're not doing that.
Function, not just a bolt-on.
Thank you. A function, not just a bolt-on. And at many companies, it's a bolt-on, as you know.
Many.
And it's actually a go-to-market bolt-on.
That's
right.
It's
not a value creation bolt-on.
Based on where it sits in the organization.
That's right.
Yep.
So you need a function, and that function, just like the finance function or the tax function or the HR function, the supply chain function, it's an L0 function of the company. And it is a steward of a set of business processes.
Yes. It's a steward of the processes. Say that again.
The processes from hell.
Yes. Take us through them.
So, first of all, as you know, partnering touches every other internal function of the company.
That's right.
It can alter rev rec. It can alter your tax position. It can alter your capital position for the better, hopefully. It changes how you think about marketing and branding. Right? Now you're co-branding, multi-branding. What is that?
Yeah.
Right.
So far you've touched the CFO's office and the CMO's office.
Oh, by the way, if you're partnering, you're creating interoperability. Now you've created a nightmare for the CIO, because the CIO now has got to worry about cybersecurity through all these other threat vectors.
That's right.
Right. It's no longer the IT within your organization. It's the IT across your organization and the partners that you're working with. And I could go on. Trust me, we've done this. Every
CRO function, we didn't get
revenue.
Into
Oh my God, revenue. Your go-to-market complete, and your product function.
Yes.
Are you engineering a product to be complete, or are you engineering a product to be the digital core? Now I'm back to tech, right?
Yes.
Are you engineering a product to be the digital core, and then your partner ecosystem does the last mile around it? Because as that core gets bigger, you know that it goes by the square of the radius, right?
Yes.
So your cost of making that too big, you don't have the capital, right? So you can only take that core as far, you want the minimum viable core, and then you want your partner ecosystem to fill in the last mile around it.
Yep.
That is your ideal scenario. So your product strategy has got to be informed by your partner and go-to-market strategy. The point is, there are places you can go today, and you know what it was. You're an expert in these processes, right? So you've got these processes that are intra-company processes that affect every other function of the company.
Yes.
But then you have the inter-company processes from hell. We talked about this before the cast, right?
Yes.
Your old company and my company are two of the largest, most complicated beasts in the world. And, let's say Judson and Andy go, hey, guys, we want to do this thing in energy and, and it takes them 30 seconds, stroke of the pen. We're going to go do this. And then who's it get handed to?
You.
It gets handed to the partner organizations for us to then try to figure out, oh my God, there's 12 corporate functions, or there's 12 entities within Microsoft and 32 within EY, and then oh my Lord, you need a calculator to figure it out sometimes.
Yeah.
Right? So I joke a little bit, but just how hard that is.
I do.
And
I call it maniacal focus, right? You get from the kumbaya, you get from the vision.
Oh yeah, like that.
You trickle down to the OKRs, and then you got to get into execution.
Yeah. And the execution, that's a lot. Right, which is why you only do big motions when you do that, right? Because the cost of sales is too high otherwise, right? And that's one thing.
You'll spin the organization in multiple directions simultaneously.
Right. You get, my rule is you with any partner, what are the 5 motions that matter that are going to get you to 80% of your value creation revenue, and just focus on those, because each motion has a hurdle cost.
Yes,
a very large hurdle cost, and so you can't spin up 20 of them.
So what is your guidance to other organizations? By the way, this is considered a new role, right? You're saying it's at the top level, the L0 level.
Yeah. And it's considered it's like you say, every company has some form of partnering today, but it's a bolt on to a different thing.
Bolt on. There's a channel chief, there's an alliances leader, there's multiple alliances.
Strategic supply chain lead. In the case of automotive,
there might be a marketing function that is
business development in energy.
Yep.
A lot of it's JVs.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and then there's some businesses that are, I call, partner native, like Airbnb and Uber and all those folks, right? That just are built in the cloud. They're orchestrators. They're value orchestrators, and they bring together a bunch of participants to trade and receive value for which they take their piece.
Yes.
So, and do they have partnering functions? I don't know, or are they just partnering entities?
Yeah, I think they're just partnering. They're almost like they're marketplaces in many respects. Right?
Yeah, those I would agree with. Those are marketplaces.
If I look at Microsoft or Amazon's marketplace or Google's marketplace right now, I'd say it's more analogous to that.
I would agree.
We are thrilled to announce our partnership with InPartner Software, the world's leading provider of partner management technologies. Serving over 4 million partners globally, InPartner excels in delivering cutting-edge solutions for partner relationship management and partner marketing automation. Their robust platform offers essential tools like program compliance tracking, customizable partner journeys, and comprehensive business planning. These features empower partner teams to swiftly transition from program design to achieving maximum value. InPartner is dedicated to supporting partner ecosystems everywhere and continues to innovate with new modules like Analytics Studio, designed to help track and maximize the ROI of your partner program. For more information, visit InPartner.com.
So partnering exists at every company. It's just small P partnering. It's not big P partnering.
Right.
It's not an L0 function. And you're not allowing all the different types of partnering mechanisms if you just keep small P partnering. And you're never going to be able to scale it if you're small P partnering. Right. If you really want to scale, you're going to have to raise it to an L0 function. And then L0 functions have an officer that are accountable to the board and the CEO for the efficacious execution of that function and contribution to key KPIs of the company.
And how do you get there? Like, what does that function look like, and what are the attributes of that function?
So that function has a number of layers to it. So there is a governance layer, and the governance is impart a governance into the capital allocation process. So how are we allocating our capital? And let's not think about capital allocation as just deploying our resources. I call it, I have this saying I use. I say, companies need to make a pivot from the economics of scarcity, the economics of abundance.
Yeah. Mindset.
It is a mindset.
Yeah.
It's very much a mindset. And that mindset can be night and day.
Yes.
The impact of which side of that mindset you fall on. Because if you're in the economics of scarcity, it's like, me, here's my capital, my people, my resources. I'm going to deploy them as effectively as I can to outmuscle my competition.
That's right. That's the old mindset.
That's the old mindset.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas the new mindset is, I have asset value and asset classes. I have all these other entities out there who I can work with who also has asset value and asset classes. And I've got customers out here who I have permission to help on a particular outcome.
That's right.
Jeff Bezos understood that better than anybody, didn't he?
He did.
Right.
And Satya Nadella.
And Satya Nadella,
Yep.
two of the great towers of CEOs in history, right? So they understood that. And so both of those companies are masters at delivering the outcomes that we want, either in our personal lives or our professional lives or both. And not just saying, what of my assets am I going to deploy? How am I going to orchestrate a lot of different assets to get you to that outcome?
Yes.
So right away, you have to govern decisions about capital allocation, about who you partner with and don't partner with, because here's another one for you. More is not more.
No.
In channel,
Deletion.
even in channel,
Deletion.
right? More is dilution.
Yeah.
Less is more.
That's right.
Who are your strategics? There should be very few of those. And then who are your specifics? The ones that you're partnering with because they have a very specific thing. It's not strategic as a relationship overall, but you still need that asset class, and they're the most logical provider of that asset class. As companies realize, oh my God, I need to have an abundance economics mindset, and I need to be able to think about capital allocation and value creation broader than just what I have within my four walls, they will realize, maybe some faster than others, that this is no longer a bolt-on, as you said earlier.
That's right.
This is a core competency of the enterprise, from decision-making all the way down to execution. And I think you're seeing the secular trend now. There are more chief partner officers named every day.
True. I just want to make sure that is where it needs to sit, or is it just in title only? That's the other piece I'd like to know.
So many chief partner officers are actually chief channel officers, or they are chief business development officers, or they are whatever they are, right? They are not actually running an L0 function of the company. They're not in the C-suite discussions. And again, I think it will get there, and I think economics will drive it there.
Yeah.
It's just, can we help ourselves by elevating this conversation, right? And frankly, also elevating the understanding of what a partner function does.
Yes.
Because it is of all the like, now, if you ask the average person, do they actually understand the difference between FP&A and, basic accounting? No, they probably don't.
No.
Right? Or indirect tax from direct? No, they don't. Yet for some reason, partnering doesn't get that break. It's like, we don't know what you do. We don't trust you. Why are you spending all that money? Where's it going? Right?
The least understood function
It's
in the
terrible.
organization.
It's just,
terrible.
I feel sorry for everybody listening right now. I feel sorry for myself. No, actually, I don't feel sorry for myself because.
Well, how did you get from point A to point B? Maybe that helps inform it.
It starts with measurement.
Yeah.
I realized very early on that, we all know people are belief driven. And so if I'm in a system of belief that says we shouldn't be partnering, we can't partner, partnering doesn't matter, and if we do partner, it's too expensive, we're not getting the value, right? All those negative things, and we're all familiar with those sorts of attitudes at our companies. So the first thing you need to do is say, okay, This is why we partner. We don't partner because we're trying to make money for Microsoft.
Right.
We don't even partner because we're trying to make more money for ourselves necessarily. We're partnering so we're relevant to our clients. So you start there.
Right.
You keep going, guys, look at the market. Look at the secular trends in the market. This is happening. Look at the most valuable companies on the planet and then go down a layer and say, why are they most valuable? Why is Microsoft the most valuable company on the planet? Because it unlocks capital value creation.
Growth mindset.
Growth mindset.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Ultimate Guide to Partnering. Hopefully this episode and all the episodes we've recorded are helping you better align your partner strategy to achieve your greatest results. So I want to ask you something. Have you implemented everything you've been learning? And are you now achieving the growth and revenue objectives that you hope to achieve? If not, it's time to take action now. Join Ultimate Partner Experience. We're building the community I've always dreamed about. With UPX, you get access to exclusive industry insights, unparalleled networking opportunities, tons of educational resources, and support from a community that shares your goals. Join us now. Visit our website, theultimatepartner.com, and sign up today.